a nearly new full-size pickup, hood up, on the back of a flatbed. 14,332 reports of complete loss of propulsion, all tied to one engine from one manufacturer. One of these is still failing in trucks that already had the recall repair done. Federal investigators opened a case on that in January. We'll get to it. It's the part that should worry you most. But there's also an engine recalled 3 times whose maker still won't call it a design flaw. And a Honda that failed at mileage most Hondas consider barely broken in, despite having no recall at all. Look closely, and you will see a clear pattern connecting these 3 powertrains. We are talking about the Honda 1.5-liter turbo, the Toyota 3.4-liter twin-turbo V35 AFTS V6, and the General Motors 6.2-liter L87 V8. In each case, the manufacturer took a larger, simpler, naturally aspirated engine and replaced it with a smaller, highly stressed, more complex design. Take a look at the redesigned 2022 Toyota Tundra. Toyota killed off the legendary 5.7-liter 3 URF EV8 and replaced it with that twin-turbo V6. Now, this industry-wide shift does not by itself prove causation. And let us be realistic here. Those older, naturally aspirated engines were not entirely failure-free. But those older power plants are not the ones currently under federal investigation. The newer, downsized replacements are. And for truck and SUV owners who value long-term durability, that difference matters. Honda, the 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And this one has been going on so long, it's almost unbelievable. You probably had the same initial reaction most people do. This is Honda. This doesn't happen to Honda. But there is a major class action working its way through the courts. Specifically, a lawsuit named Alcantara versus American Honda Motor Company, filed on July 1st in California federal court. The Alcantara suit claims a massive range of vehicles are affected. We are talking about 2016 through 2022 Accords, Civics, and CR-V models, along with the Acura RDX and Acura TLX. Up north, there is a parallel battle. Lupien versus Honda Canada was filed in the Quebec Superior Court. That action covers the 2016 through 2022 Civic with the optional 1.5-liter turbo, the 2017 through 2022 CR-V, and the 2018 through 2022 Accord. Let us be completely straight about the mechanics here. This entire matter is a lawsuit allegation, not a confirmed recall. The court pleadings describe a catastrophic path. They allege a design defect allows coolant to breach the head gasket and enter the combustion chamber, or mix directly with your motor oil. Once that barrier is gone, the engine eats itself from the inside out. Misfires, corrosion, loss of compression, nothing was fixed. Not one thing. I want to be straight with you. Honda has issued no recall for this issue. They have published no service bulletin to address a head gasket defect. Sure, there is a general service bulletin for malfunction codes like P030X or P0172, but that is a diagnostic guide for general misfires. It is not a head gasket remedy for an engine you might still be making payments on. This is a legal battle, and for now, the consumer is left holding the bag. Let us look at what this actually looks like for a real owner who lived through it. We have to go to Quebec to see the human scale cost of this issue. A Canadian owner named Martine Lupien bought a 2016 Civic with the optional 1.5-liter turbo engine. She did not neglect her car. She drove it, maintained it, and expected it to last. But the engine failed anyway. The odometer read exactly 111,000 kilometers when it happened. That is only about 69,000 miles. For a Honda Civic, that mileage should mean the car is barely broken in. It should have years of trouble-free driving ahead of it. But instead of a reliable commuter, she had a dead engine. When she brought the car to the dealership, she expected the brand to step up and make it right. Instead, Honda Canada denied assistance. They turned her away and refused to help with the cost of the repair. She was left completely on her own to deal with a broken vehicle she still needed for her daily life. So, the technicians at the dealership had to find out exactly where the engine was failing. To do that, they performed a borescope inspection. The technician took a miniature camera mounted on a flexible fiber optic cable and fed it down through the spark plug hole, straight into the dark combustion chamber. They were looking for direct visual proof of the failure, and they found it. Once the diagnostic was finished and the problem was identified, the dealership handed her the bill. Since Honda refused to help, she had to pay the entire amount out of her own pocket just to get her car back on the road. A camera went in. $5,461 came out. Think about that number for a moment. $5,461 for a head gasket on a Honda Civic. That is a massive financial blow for an everyday commuter car. And more than that, it is a deep sense of personal betrayal. You buy a vehicle from a brand known for decades of unmatched reliability. You pay your hard-earned money, and you end up holding a $5,000 bill before the car even hits 120,000 kilometers. This is why you cannot sit back and wait for a manufacturer to finally admit there is a defect. If you own one of these vehicles, you must take action into your own hands right now, even if there is no recall active for your specific vehicle. Do not wait for a letter in the mail. Start protecting yourself today. Preserve every single repair record and maintenance receipt. If you notice your coolant level dropping in the reservoir, document the date, the mileage, and how much fluid you had to add. If your car starts running rough or misfires, take it in for a professional diagnostic immediately. If the mechanic uses a borescope, ask for copies of the images and make sure the technician documents those exact findings on your invoice. Run your vehicle identification number through the safety databases regularly to see if any new campaigns have been launched. Build your own paper trail, because if you have to fight for reimbursement later, those documents are your only real leverage. Now, we have the owner stories, the repair bills, and the hard evidence in hand. Okay, that one's still a fight in court. The next two aren't arguments. They're federal recalls, and the numbers are enormous. We are moving from civil lawsuits and dealer disputes to official government investigations. When federal safety regulators step in, the corporate excuses stop. The documentation shifts from courtroom allegations to safety recall reports filed directly with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. This is where the scale of these modern powertrain failures becomes impossible to ignore. We are looking at manufacturing issues on a massive scale, starting with a brand that built its entire reputation on bulletproof reliability. Toyota, the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V35 AFTS V6. And this one has been going on so long, it's almost unbelievable. We are looking at more than 270,000 vehicles caught up in Toyota's recall sequence since 2024. This did not happen all at once. It unfolded in waves. The first warning came in May 2024. That initial campaign covered approximately 102,000 vehicles. It targeted the first wave families, 2022 through 2024 Tundra, 2022 through 2024 Lexus LX, and 2024 Lexus GX. But the bleeding did not stop there. In November 2025, Toyota had to expand the net. They issued a second campaign covering approximately 127,000 additional vehicles. Again, the same families, just more of them. Then came May 2026. Under campaign code 26V320, Toyota recalled another 44,000 additional 2024 Tundras. How they got there 3 separate times is the part that sits wrong. Think about that. 3 separate times. A legendary manufacturer of reliable trucks, forced to issue campaign after campaign, dragging the same model families back to the dealership because the initial remedy could not contain the damage. If you are driving one of these trucks, you are left wondering if your engine is a ticking time bomb. And the worst part is, the story does not end with the paperwork. What actually happens inside these 3.4-liter blocks is a mechanical nightmare. Microscopic metal debris left behind during factory machining migrates directly into the number 1 main bearing. Once those abrasive fragments embed in the soft bearing material, they tear through the protective oil film, causing rapid and destructive wear. For the driver, that physical damage produces unmistakable warning signs. You will notice a heavy metallic knocking, rough running, or a sudden, terrifying loss of motive power at highway speeds when the crankshaft seizes. This is not a case of a few isolated failures. The paperwork reveals a massive service burden that dealerships are struggling to support. Through October 2025, Toyota had logged 2,604 official warranty claims and 303 field reports detailing this exact bearing failure. To try and contain the damage, technicians had already swapped out more than 70,000 complete replacement engines through that same month. Think about the sheer scale of that logistical effort. 70,000 brand new engines shipped and installed because a premier manufacturer could not keep metal shavings out of their oil passages. That is 70,000 owners who bought what they thought was a bulletproof truck, only to watch a dealership mechanic pull their entire powertrain out on an engine hoist. 3 campaigns, 70,000 engines, 1 remedy still developing. Here is the most concerning part of this entire timeline. When Toyota filed campaign 26V320, they did not even have a fix ready. Owners of these trucks received letters dated July 6, 2026, telling them they would be contacted only when an actual remedy exists. Later, Toyota introduced a resonant frequency test, using a software diagnostic to decide which engines actually needed a full replacement. Through all of this, Toyota has never acknowledged a design flaw, and they still build the V35A today. Before you buy or tow with one of these vehicles, do your homework. Check the vehicle identification number, the engine code, the recall completion, and whether a complete engine replacement occurred. But what happens when a repaired truck fails again? That unresolved question is exactly what takes us from a developing remedy to a massive federal investigation. General Motors, the 6.2-liter L87 VI8. And this one has been going on so long, it's almost unbelievable. In April 2025, the manufacturer issued safety campaign 25V274. The scope is massive. We are talking about 597,630 US vehicles from model years 2021 through 2024. If you drive a half-ton or a full-size SUV, you are right in the crosshairs. The recall sweeps up 107,244 Silverado 1500 models. But it does not stop there. The campaign coverage blankets the Tahoe, the Suburban, the Sierra 1500, the Yukon, the Escalade, and the Escalade ESV. Now, let us get into the actual mechanics of why these blocks are failing. According to the federal filings, there is a serious contamination issue. We are talking about residual sediment left on the connecting rods and trapped inside the crankshaft oil galleries during assembly. It gets worse. Many of these crankshafts left the factory with improper physical dimensions or an improper surface finish on the journals. Think about that. You have abrasive metal debris circulating through oil passages, combined with rough, out-of-spec crankshaft surfaces. The physical consequence is brutal. This combination tears through your bearings. Once the protective oil film breaks down, you get severe rod bearing damage, complete engine seizure, or a connecting rod throwing itself straight through the side of the engine block. It is a total mechanical catastrophe, and it happens with zero warning. GM was not tracking a handful of isolated problems. The company's own records show they analyzed more than 28,000 field complaints. Think about that number. Within that mountain of paperwork, They documented 14,332 incidents involving a sudden loss of propulsion. That is thousands of heavy trucks and full-size SUVs losing power on the highway. The files also show 12 potentially related crashes. Now, to be absolutely clear, this complaint and crash information is not proof that the engine caused a death or injury. But it shows why federal regulators started asking questions. Which brings us back to what I said at the start. There is a detail in the recall paperwork about how long GM had been looking at this internally, and it shows they knew about the bearing issue long before they took action. They launched 3 prior internal investigations. The first was in February 2022. The second was in June 2023. The third was in July 2024. All of this happened before they ever announced the federal recall, but the boundaries of their fix were already starting to fail. In October 2025, an engineering analysis examined 1,157 bearing failure complaints. The real problem was where those complaints were coming from. 173 of those vehicles were outside the original recall window, including 2019 and 2020. Silverado 1500 and Sierra 1500 examples. Owners who thought their model year meant they were safe were seeing their engines fail anyway. On January 19, 2026, the federal government stepped back in. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration launched Recall Query RQ26001. This investigation targets roughly 597,571 vehicles. But this inquiry does not focus on unrepaired trucks. Federal regulators opened this investigation because 36 owners reported complete engine failures after their trucks had already received the official recall repair. Think about that. These owners did exactly what General Motors told them to do. They took their vehicles to the dealer, got the official fix, and their engines still seized on the road. This shifts the entire investigation to a much more troubling question. Was the official remedy actually adequate, or did it fail to address the root cause? Meanwhile, the actual progress of getting these trucks fixed is moving at a crawl. As of the third quarter of 2025, only 230,311 vehicles had been remedied. That is only about 38.5% of the recalled population. Sit with that for a second. More than 60% of these trucks are still driving around with potentially defective engines, while the repaired trucks are still failing. If you own or are looking to buy a truck with the 6.2-liter L87 V8, you cannot rely on a recall receipt to keep you safe. You have to watch for the warning signs requiring prompt attention. Listen for knocking or banging. Watch for a check engine light, hesitation, high RPMs, abnormal shifting, reduced propulsion, and a no start. Run the VIN, verify the engine code, preserve your repair records, and confirm exactly what recall work was performed before buying or continuing to operate an affected vehicle. Trust is built on results, not recall letters. When the official federal fix still leaves you stranded, the real cost of these engines falls on you. Have you owned one of these? Did your engine fail? Drop your story in the comments below, because your experience could save somebody else the same expensive mistake. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And if this was useful, hit that like button and subscribe.